Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and today we're going to be talking about the dev workshop that D. Rebecca put up yesterday, talking about the daily login rewards. Now, this isn't a video that I necessarily want to make, because videos like this kind of get misconstrued whenever you're basically talking about your opinion on things, but a lot of people asked me to make a video about this to bring a voice of reason into the community, because there's been a lot of outrage regarding this topic. Like, I log on to Twitter and I see people who are, they don't even play Warframe who are even talking about this, which actually blew my mind. But there's been a lot of outrage because veteran players feel like they're getting shafted because newer players are going to be running around with, like things like the Sigma and Octantis, or newer players feel like they're getting shafted because they're going to have to play an extra 100 days to get the Zenistar or something, when in reality, in my opinion, it doesn't really make a difference. But we'll talk more about my opinion later on in the video. Let's just go ahead and get the facts out first. Now, keep in mind, this is a dev workshop, so a lot of this stuff is still subject to change. Like, there's no confirmed release date. We don't even know if these are going to be the final changes, and realistically, this is just a snippet. We don't know the full details of it, right? So keep that in mind anytime you read anything from a dev workshop, or anytime you're watching a video from a Warframe YouTuber, or you read a post on Twitter, or anything like that. We're not DE. We don't know anything. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know how they're going to react to community feedback. We have no idea. So it's not like this is confirmed stuff. So she says, you may recall us confirming back in DevStream number 100 that we are looking at changing how the daily tribute system works. 15 dev streams later, we had mock-ups to show, and we relied too much on recall of that 100th dev stream to properly explain the changes. So here's a write-up of two parts, the scaling day-to-day and the milestones. So TLDR, the scaling day-to-day has been changed from mastery into days. So if you take a look, right now how it works is at Mastery 1, you're going to get 50 Endo if you were to log in and then get Endo. And then at Mastery 25, you'd log in, you would get 80 if you happen to get Endo on that day, right? So I'm assuming this is going to be like for resources too, like this change. So now how it works is it's going to scale with your days played. So at day 1, you're going to get 50 Endo, but then at day 1000, you're going to get 300, right? So that's how it scales. It's scaling like every 200 days. So again, this could change. These numbers could change. Again, it's largely the 50-day intervals that are under discussion. Keep that in mind. Important perk or important point. 1 dirt per video. Milestones. For daily tribute milestone rewards, we've divided them into 3 separate categories that will appear at intervals listed below. Sigils and resources. Days 50, 150, 250, etc. That's like, pretty sigils on your chest. Whatever, it's fine. Resources, I don't know, meh. Includes packs like Sigil, Forma, Orc, and Reactor. All existing packs will be an option for these intervals, so you're going to get to choose. Now, this is the part which people are kind of annoyed at, because you get to choose what you're going to get, right? So, let's say, for example, day 50 gave the Sigil originally, right? And then day 150 gave the Orc and Reactor. You're going to get the choice between the two, okay? People are annoyed at this, but not that point in particular. It's more number 2 and 3. So point number 2 is prime mods. Days 200, 400, and 600 is when you're going to get your prime mods, right? You get to choose between the prime mods. So currently how it stands is you would get different prime mods at different intervals. So you would get prime shred at whatever day prime shred is at, and then you would get, Prime Fury at whatever day Prime Fury is at, and that's how it would be. But now you get to choose between either Prime Shred or Prime Fury on the day that you get a Prime mod. So technically you could choose Prime Sure-Footed, right? That's a 900 day. So the issue here is newer players getting stuff like before a veteran player would have in the current login system, if that makes any sense. That's why people are kind of outraged. And then we move on to weapons, which is more or less the same thing. At days 100, 300, and 500, this is where you're going to get the likes of the Azima, Zenith, Zenistar, etc. Sigma, Octantis, blah, blah, blah. So all that stuff. And also, it says the Lodestar Syandana and the upcoming Lodestar armor set. So this is like weapons and equipment, right? So it's both. So the simple explanation here is that once you've reached a given category, you pick an eligible item from that category. We're also looking into adding a fourth category past the 1000 milestone with more evergreen rewards. We don't know what that means. Under some amount of debate is also milestone rewards such as prime mods and weapons being tradable. At this time, we're removing that. So basically, how it began is they wanted to make it so that, you know, Prime Shred, Prime Fury, etc., you could like go up to that milestone and then trade it off, which some people took as, oh, they just don't want to make any more, what's it called? They don't want to make any more login rewards, which, I mean, I think that's a crazy thought to have, honestly. Like, the whole point in Warframe is the fact that they give us so much content and they update on a regular basis. That's why this game has survived for 5 years. I don't think they're just gonna implement the system and then be super lazy about it. And before you say Archwing and Lenaro, they've made progress with Archwing. They're implementing Archwing into the game further. Lenaro was a flop. The entirety of Conclave is a flop, and it wouldn't surprise me if they remove it sometime in the near future, just like they did with raids. Just being honest with that. But yeah, as a final point, we are making these changes because the linearity and complete lack of customization of the system is starting to show its age. We've made it only slightly more flexible while still respecting the core need to log in frequently. Personalization is a huge part of Warframe, and we think that this change to the daily tribute system is going to better reflect that. With the new track milestones, we're hoping each tenant will have a reason to look forward to these 50-day logins. So stay tuned, hopefully this clarifies the current plan. And then we have an edit here, which says, after reading your feedback, we are switching the tracks for prime mods, weapons, equipment to respect current milestones. The main post has been edited to reflect this change. Here's the list of the updated stuff. So, you know, it just goes over sigils and resources 50, 150, 250, weapons and equipment 100, 300, 500, prime mods 200, 400, 600, etc. So that's fine. You know, I don't see a problem with that. It just means that, you know, New Year players are going to get the stuff that they want when they hit a certain milestone. But what people are annoyed at is the fact that sometimes, in some people's cases, they're going to have to wait for longer to get something that they were working their way up to, which, I mean, to be honest, the login rewards aren't really going to have that big of an impact on your gameplay as a New Year player. And then the other point is the fact that veterans feel like they're just handing New Year players this stuff that we've logged in ages for. You're still going to have to log in to get everything, right? So if a New Year player chooses to get the Sigma and Octantis over the Azima, for example, they're still going to have to log in for a shit ton of days to get the Azima to have everything, okay? So the fact that you have more login weapons over a New Year player already puts you apart from that New Year player, right? But in all honesty, the login weapons and the login prime mods and the login Sayandana are stuff that, as a veteran player, I never use. Absolutely never use them. I leveled them, I maybe showed them to some people on stream, and that's kind of it. And this is coming from someone who plays this game pretty much 8 hours a day, every day but Monday, you know, on stream. And I get to show people stuff, and, you know, I demonstrate things to people. And I barely use it, you know. I can't imagine how often someone who barely plays the game, only kind of logs in a little bit, would use weapons such as the Sigma and Octantis or the Zenith or the Azima or whatever, because, to be honest, they're not really, like, that great of weapons. So let's just go ahead and sort by used right here for my primaries. Let's see where the Zenith is. So the Zenith is down here. Used 0.5%, 1.7k kills. You know, that's a few missions. That's about, like, what? If I'm playing seriously, I'm like maybe 10 missions. Woohoo. Holy shit. Let's take a look at the Azima. Right? Where's the Azima at? Even further down. Where is it? I can't even see it. There it is. 0.1%. 72 kills. Got it the max rank. Whoa. Let's take a look at my melees. You know, where's the Zenith Star? 0.7. I use this one because I like showing off the massive skin. The Chroma Deluxe skin, because it's bugged and it makes it huge. And then what else? The Sigma and Octantis, 0.3%. You know, 3,000 kills. You know, 1.5k kills. whatever. I barely use any of that stuff. And as for the mods, Prime Shred is probably a mod that I would use like in a standard crit build, right? So you have your Serration, 100 Munitions, Split Chamber, Vital Sense, Point Strike, your 2 elements, and then you have a slot here. Unfortunately, I can't show you how often I use the mod, but I'm usually using a Prime Beam mod in this slot. It is a super fun mod, but like you're gonna pick that or Prime Fury, right? And Prime Fury, if we go ahead and we take a look at my most used melee weapons, right? So most used melee weapons at the minute in the current meta of Warframe, I use the Play Crit Bath. The Play Crit Bath is my go-to. It's my I'm top damage Za. 190,000 kills. Like, these are all crit weapons right here, which I use Berserker on. Sure, Fury is good, but the only weapon that I really use Prime Fury on is the Legion, and that's because it's a full status weapon. And most melee weapons in the game at the minute benefit really hard from critical chance, critical damage, So in the current meta, Prime Fury isn't even used that much, at least on my builds. And I use it on status heavy stuff. But even at that, if I was building, let's say my Za, let's choose this Za for example, because it's got a nice balance of status, I would still be using Berserker on it because Blood Rush is just that insane, right? So with your Prime mods, it's a case of, does it really fit in your build, And 9 times out of 10, there's going to be something that is better than it, at least in the current meta, like I said. So, meh. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I just this whole outrage around the login system just kind of blows my mind, because it's like, what is there to be outraged about, right? Like, newer players are getting fun stuff, and if the new player gets the Sigma and Octantis and is having the time of his life and he's having fun with it because it's the only throwing weapon or throwing sword and shield in the game, and he feels like Captain America, he's, like I said, he's having the time of his life, that's awesome, because that new player is more likely to stick around because he's having fun in the game. Difference between me and that newer player is that newer player has Pressure Point and Fury on his build, where I know how to actually build the weapon, right? I'm an experienced player, I've got the endo, I have the credits, I have the know-how to build these weapons and do these things, and that is what sets me apart as a veteran to new player, right? Not some shiny Sayandana, not some shiny weapon that I barely use, because like I said, they're not all that great. Weapons in this game, it's very much so down to personal preference, and you may feel attached to a weapon in a video game, sure, but that's more of a you problem than that is a DE problem. I don't feel like that should come into the equation. Like, your personal feelings on a weapon in a video game and how much you like it, that's your thing, that's personal to you. That shouldn't reflect the experience for everybody. In my opinion, the login changes are a good change, and if you emotionally feel like DE are neglecting you as a veteran player or whatever because that guy has the same weapon as you, then reconsider, rethink. Think about what you're passionate about, because weapons in a video game to make you stand out doesn't make any sense. That's just me. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there's so many things in this game which separates you from the average player, right? Your clan, your glyph if you're a content creator, for example. The fact that you can have your own logo on your shoulders. The fact that you get a logo for every single event that you play and take part in. A newer player aren't going to have those. This, for example, is the Plague Star one. Stuff like that. Hey, look, this regalia over here is glowing because I was here whenever raids were a thing, right? And I did the Nightmare raids and stuff like that. I was a seasoned raider back whenever they were a thing. That sets me apart, I think it's outrageous, dude. I honestly do. I don't think there should be that much of a drama over a system which, in the grander scheme of things, is going to increase enjoyment for a lot of newer players coming in. Sure, it sucks that some people are going to have to wait a little bit longer, but like, in return, whenever they hit that next milestone, they're going to have that choice. They're going to have the option. And whenever it comes to video games, I feel like option is always the best thing, because options make things more personal, and then it's a lot better, right? Because it's yours. This is what differentiates you from everybody else. This is the choice that you made. That's why games such as like Telltale games or Detroit Become Human are so fun and intriguing to watch, because it's your own personal choice. Just like with Warframe on Twitch, people are asking for your build, right? That's what sets you apart in Warframe. Just because someone has the same weapon as you doesn't make them more or less special than you. That's just my take on it. I personally don't understand all the outrage, and I disagree with anyone who says that this system is a bad system simply because a newer player is going to have the same thing that they have. But that's just me. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.